So in this segment, we're going to be talking about Lord Frost making more idiotic statements, talking about how the EU should stop making threats to big countries like Britain. What are you talking about? Big countries? I don't remember the EU making any threats to other major countries. I genuinely don't. I don't remember the EU threatening the Russians. I don't remember the EU threatening the Chinese or the Indians, the Americans, for example. What is this man on? Like, he must be on something, I'm telling you. Like, this guy, man, he goes, the EU needs to stop making threats and work out a new way to deal with big countries like Britain. David Frost said, what do you want them to do? Capitulate over every British demand? That's not going to happen, you fool. I don't understand what this man's endgame is. I really don't. Brexit minister said the post-membership relationship with the bloc had been more difficult than expected and would be a little bumpy for some time. Gee, I wonder if it's because you keep threatening unilateral action. You passed a bill last year that would violate the withdrawal agreement, the internal market bill. I wonder if that's what soured relations. I wonder. He claimed Brussels was not showing a huge amount of engagement with the UK concerns about the Northern Ireland Brexit deal. Gee, I wonder why. Is it because you signed the agreement and now you're being all whiffy about it? Like, what are you doing? He said the protocol was threatening the delicate balance of the Good Friday Agreement. So why did you agree to the Northern Ireland Protocol then, pal? Why did you agree to it if you thought it could threaten the delicate balance? It doesn't make sense. And it also doesn't. It really doesn't benefit... It really isn't a massive problem for the Good Friday Agreement. The problem is that instead of going for an SPS agreement, which is available, the UK refused to take it. That would lower the amount of checks needed by about 90%. So this guy, ultimate fraud once again. He said, I think the EU does need to try and find a way of dealing with big third countries in its neighbourhood that is a bit more responsive and sort of fleet of foot rather than a cookie cutter approach and fitting everything into a template. The EU are not using the same approach they used to the Russians. The EU members sanctioned Russia. Let's not forget over the situation in Crimea. So what are you talking about? If the EU were going to use a cookie cutter approach, they would start sanctioning us for breaking parts of the withdrawal agreement. That's what they would be doing if they were using a cookie cutter approach. But they're not doing that, are they? So why are you being stupid? Why are you talking rubbish? I genuinely, this guy, man, he hurts me. He really does, because I have to read his stupid stuff. I have to then try and understand his stupid stuff. Then I have to try and tell you guys the stupid stuff. Like, genuine pain. I really don't want you guys to have to see that. I'm sorry. Turning to the Commission's threats of the UK, should be to the UK, he said, if I had one criticism perhaps, is that sometimes it feels like the resort to threats is a bit quick. What are you talking about? Like, what? Like, the UK took unilateral action and then the EU said they were going to take legal action over it because we broke the agreement. We're the ones constantly doing threats. The internal market bill itself is a threat. Like, what are you talking about, my guy? Are you stupid? He says, and we don't make threats in quite the same way as I think players in the EU do. No, when we make threats, we try and follow through on them, don't we? That's the difference. We actually put threats into law. The EU were thinking, someone in the Commission was thinking about doing invoking Article 16 and cancelled it straight away. What did we do? We passed the internal market bill as a law. We refused to use it, but it was there. Dude, what are you talking about? He also says, and I think we could just sort of dial that down. It would help a bit. Man, you're the one who took unilateral action. I think it was twice this year. And now you're talking about dialing it down. You're the ones always moaning about the EU, always threatening them. Saying that you want to suspend the Northern Ireland Protocol, you're going to invoke Article 16. You're the one who ramps up tension, and then you're like, oh, I can't believe the EU. Do you know what? I'm going to have to pull out that gunshot meme again because of this guy. My days. This guy genuinely annoys me so much. Frost has admitted that the protocol he negotiated, this is a great framing here from The Independent, to deal with the Northern Ireland border issue was more damaging to trade between Great Britain and the province than he expected. Well, this is incompetence then. He's admitting that he was incompetent. He didn't do his job properly. Maybe that's the easy out, but that's what it is. He didn't do his job. He didn't do his due diligence properly. And now the UK is suffering because of it. The new trade agreement has angered both unionists and businesses who have given up shipping to Northern Ireland because of the increased bureaucracy. Now, Boris Johnson promised there would be no paperwork. So, riddle me this, Frost. Did you know there was going to be paperwork, or did you not know? Because if it's the case that you knew and you lied about it, then that shows you what kind of man Frost is. And if it's the case that you believe Boris Johnson's lies about having no paperwork, it shows you're incompetent. You're not very good at your job. You didn't understand what it means to be a third country. And to be fair, there's more and more evidence of that. Him saying that, oh, I didn't realise how hard it would be to do trade deals as a third country. It's ridiculous. He goes on, the situation is expected to worsen with the grace periods negotiated in last December coming to an end. They've been extended. I think they're going to be extended. I'm not 100% sure if the confirmation has come out yet, but yeah. With a crucial one covering chilled meats such as sausages set to end at the end of this month. That's talking about the grace period. I don't know why this thing keeps flashing. So the article goes on to say, but Britain has taken unilateral action extending the periods without the EU's agreement, a move that has angered Brussels, who see it as a backsliding on the recently signed agreement, which it is. It is that, absolutely 100% it is. When you take unilateral action on an agreement that's meant to be mutual, it is backsliding on the agreement. And so this is the thing, one of the things that's made relations between the UK and the EU so toxic. The EU says that Britain should implement the agreement it negotiated and has threatened to use sanctions, including potentially trade tariffs if Britain remains in breach, which, if the EU were using a cookie cutter approach, they would have sanctioned us by now. That's what would have happened. Frost told MPs, if those arrangements are going to be sustainable, the EU have to operate in a pragmatic and proportionate way. That's not what's happening. Again, we're hearing these buzzwords, pragmatic, proportionate, but he doesn't actually give specifics about what he wants the EU to do, because he knows if he does start saying specifics, the EU are going to say no, because these violate EU rules. It's going to be something to do with that. The delicate balance in the Good Friday Agreement risks being unsettled. I mean, not massively. It's just your team, the ones causing problems, like no one else. He said, we are implementing the protocol as best we can and spending a lot of money on it. I mean, did you guys mention this during the referendum? I don't remember that. But there are still big problems, and this is creating a sense of difficulty for identity in Northern Ireland. Could it be that you don't have enough border posts and facilities, and the fact that we don't have the staff in place? Are these the problems? Because if they are, these are more on the UK side than anything. It's just ridiculous that we didn't get our act together. We've had since 2019 to figure things out with the Northern Ireland Protocol specifically, and we didn't. So these arguments he's making here, pragmatic, proportional, all these things, they're just buzzwords. Turning to the wider relationship with the EU, which has been characterised by growing incomprehension and mistrust on both sides, which the EU distrusts us, rightfully so. Frost added, there's been a big change in the relationship. No duh. And lots of things have changed very rapidly, and everybody is kind of adjusting to that. He said, I think we've just got to let that play out to some extent and sort of manage it as responsible international actors should. So why are you constantly threatening to take unilateral action then? And you have done so. Why? Like, bro, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, I want to de-escalate tensions and then escalate tensions repeatedly. You can't do that. You can't punch someone in the face and say, no, you can't hit me back, because that's going to escalate things. That's what this man keeps doing. He goes, I think it's reasonable to think it will be, a little bumpy for some time because of that. I don't remember this during the referendum. He said, I said last week in a speech at another event that I think those who campaigned for leave would have been surprised to think that the relationship was relatively difficult as it is now. It's mainly because of you guys. You guys constantly saber-rattling against the EU. Obviously, that's going to cause more tensions. He goes, it's not something that we want. I mean, evidently you do. That was the point of Brexit. Those people who say, oh, love Europe, hate the EU. It is obviously something you want. You guys wanted to fight, and now you got one. The sooner we can move on beyond the settling down process, the better. But we probably have to let it work through. I mean, my question to Frost is, once this grace period ends, right, the extension, what are you going to do then? Are you going to continue to moan about it? Or are you going to do your job and look for solutions? The negotiations are done, my friend. There is nothing left to negotiate apart from a few tweaks you can make. But for the most part, you agreed to it. So hurry up. Accept the fact that we've agreed to it and start dealing with it properly. Stop being an idiot and embarrassing us on the international stage with your stupid Union Jack socks. Anyways, look, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.